So it's kind of it's a good thing that they have, and they makes it a bigger experience on the match days and stuff. But like you say, you have it right there.
Yeah,
So
you have to pass through it to get to the east stand from the way I go in. So you're in it whether you want to be or not, really.
yeah, yeah, and clearly it's enjoyed by away fans as well, which is good. That's that's what rugby league can do and can have as well. So that's a positive. Right, on to the game itself, mate. I thought this game was chaos.
It was. That's the best word to describe it, and basically what I said in the day. I think both teams were playing very frantically, and then I think I said earlier I don't want to criticise refs, but I think Jack Smith totally lost control of it, and that was leading to more flare-ups, and Leeds handled that a little bit better than we did.
I think your fans thought Jack Smith was getting things wrong that he wasn't getting wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
And that just swells up then, doesn't it? Into like a rest faulted atmosphere.
In that ground, it's sort you get one bad decision and every other like 50-50 or 60-40 is sort of amplified a little bit more.
Yeah, I particularly enjoyed how angry you all were with the match official when a video ref decision was getting looked at.
It's just how it goes on like 7-8 times when the Leeds players know it's a try, the Rovers players know it's a try. We'd lined up for the kick-off and everything, like players just there like waving their arms like, why are we watching this again?
That was the Kane Lynette try, weren't it? The one that you're talking about with all the replay. So, are you genuinely convinced that he definitely had possession of the ball and control when he put it down? Because I'm still not.
I am, obviously.
I could understand why the ref wanted to see, the video ref wanted to see see it a few more times. What you guys couldn't tell in the stadium, and I told you this, didn't I, during the game, was it was actually the match director kept going to the next replay when the video ref was saying, I want to see that replay again.
Yeah, it just kept changing the angle.
So he kept going to the next angle, running that through, and then going back to the angle that the video ref actually was asking for, which was a bit made it take longer than it should have took. I think that's happened a couple of times recently. I think that's an area where the video refs need to sit down with the guys at Sky, the guys at Channel 4, whatever, BBC, whatever it might need to be, to sort of sharpen that up, because it does cause frustration within the stands, definitely, no matter which way the decision goes. You sort of, in our fan-biased heads as well, we start to think they're looking at ways to cheat us here, so we just get angrier.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, I think I messaged you saying, why don't they just give the video refs the control of it, and you said that didn't work either. We tried that before.
Yeah, it used to take 2 of them and it still took us long. On the game itself, one thing, if we're talking about officials, that there was good consistency shown across weeks by match officials is Leeds benefited from a sin bin after 3-6 agains in quick succession versus Salford last week. This time it went against them, didn't it? Because Oledsky got sin bin because he was the unfortunate person who was the third in a row, very quick succession of giving away a 6 again. So that was good. I thought Oledsky was exceptional throughout the game when he was playing, though. I think that was just a penalty that he gave away. He just happened to be in the wrong part of the succession of them for it. But lots of scoring in the first half. Entertaining stuff or not entertaining for you?
Perhaps. I thought it was. My dad can sometimes see it a bit more neutral than I can. He said, I bet that was a fantastic game for a neutral to watch. And I've come on page that she enjoyed watching it, obviously, because we lost. But other than. Yeah, it's end to end, wasn't it? Like we went, was it 2 or 3 scores ahead, and then they came rumbling back off the back of a few penalties, and there was melees and everything. It was chaos, like you keep saying.
Yeah, Jez Litton was good, wasn't he? Forced into the halves. There was still a bit of chaos around him because he's not a halfback, so he couldn't control the game. But he's got the skills of a halfback with his short kicking game and managing to. He gets himself in the right place. Like there was a few offloads that were scrambled, loose off the cuff, unstructured offloads, but he got there because he's quick. He can read the play quickly. So he had a cracking game, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought 3 try assists when you're playing out of position and basically running a team on your own, because the other halfback was Minchella, who was still playing as a forward more or less.
Oh yeah, he was a running loose forward. You just had 2 of them on the pitch.
Yeah, with no kicking game.
Oh god, the one kick he did put in where he just hoofed it. Well, that was when it sort of felt like you were starting to come back into it in the second half. I think it was during the Simbin period, wasn't it? And it was just like the air was let out of the balloon.
Yeah.
When he just hoofed it nowhere to no one.
More or less to the corner of the touch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No one read it, and just, bad kick and everything. But you can't blame him. He's a 13/second rower, so.
Oh yeah, doing a job, sticking his hand up and doing a job, and running the risk of the criticism that comes with having to do that. But you can't take away his effort, that's for sure.
There is Minchella. I think he's a vice captain or will be captain for the rest of the season. But the type of person he is, I'm a big fan.
Well, that's another thing that didn't help the flow of this game: the injuries. So
no.
And Leeds had 3 guys go off injured. It sounds like. Oh, I forgot to write this down to remember it. It sounds like Harry Newman's done a new injury to a new hamstring injury. He has hinted he might be back before the end of the year, so hopefully it's not as bad as the last couple of hamstring injuries he's had. Because let's face it, we all want to see him in the World Cup.
Yes.
And they had 2 blokes go to hospital. I think the person who's hoping your season ends sooner rather than later and you don't get in the playoffs will be the fucking local health service with how many injured players are off them. Even you sent 2 Leeds players off to hospital during this game. Cam Smith seems to be a flesh wound in the end, not a break or anything. He's hoping to be back for the game this weekend. And who was the other one that went? Donaldson, I think, wasn't it, the other one?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what the crack is there. And then you had your own problems, of course. So Sean Kenny Dowell, he got an injury late on in the first half, and that's been confirmed as a torn MCL. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. And Greg Richards injured as well, out for the rest of the season. So both teams lost players for injuries and key players. Let's be fair.
Oh yeah. We're a different team with Sean Kenny Dowell on the field, and it really shows when he plays and when he doesn't.
Do you think that injury, as much as anything else, throwing Matt Parcell missing a game for a grade A dangerous contact charge, 1 match penalty notice for him, will kind of scupper any slim chances you've got of the playoffs now?
Oh, it's gone, and I don't think there's any chance of us getting there, and even if we did, it'd do us no good. I think next week we're going to be having 3 or 4 debutants play. I wrote down like a little potential team, and even I've not heard of 3 of them.
We'll do that in the predictions then. See what we can come up with, and see if we know who's who, and give all these little kids the call outs. Ethan Ryan also got.
Our injured 17 is better than our starting 17.
Yeah. Ethan Ryan got a grade B over contrary behaviour charge as well, 1 match penalty notice for him. So do you know what that was exactly for? I can't recall.
I think it's leading with the knees when I think it was Myler.
Oh yeah, that was one of the scuffles, weren't it? And to be fair, you can understand why the Leeds players rose up to that one.
I don't think it's the worst one I've seen, but he did hit him with his knees, so
yeah. And I don't think he was. Yeah, I think it was one of those ones that happens rather than one of those ones that he was trying to leave something on the player. I just think he got there late.
No, Ethan Ryan's not like the player.
The other, injuries. Injuries definitely hurt the flow of the game. The game had a weird flow anyway because of all the dummy half running, all the unstructured play from both sides, and then when you take out like senior leadership players from that as well, or any sorts of injuries, but that just makes it even more messy, really. And like you say, Leeds cope with that better. Probably helped through having a not fully fit Blake Austin on the bench. He came on, and at least then they had 2 halfbacks on the pitch, which was something that neither team started with in this game. Yeah. I want to give a shout out for Brad Dwyer's try. I thought that was very reminiscent of Rob Burrow for Leeds, seeing someone jump out, run that many different directions around that many different people on the way to score a 40 metres try from dummy half for Leeds just made me think of the great little halfback.
Yeah, he's a good. I did see a funny tweet that you might appreciate at that one. Someone wrote, in that one run, Brad Dwyer's made more metres going forward than Powell has in 5 seasons.
Yeah, you don't have to prepare for dummy half runs against Wigan, usually. But we certainly would never been involved in a game with 50 of them, let's put it that way. But yeah, I thought that was good from Dwyer. I thought Leeds dealt with things better, like you say. The 2 Gannon tries, one against the run of play, which always kind of puts the brakes on a comeback, doesn't it, when you have that sort of thing. But he did really great to take those 2 tries. He was the difference in the second half there. So I think ultimately I do think Leeds were the better side, I've got to be honest with you. I don't think there was any kind of controversy in that for me.
No, then they scored what turned out to be the winning try when there were only 12 men as well. So that was when you could really feel the air go out with the atmosphere. And even when we scored again, no one really, you could tell no one around us believed that we had a comeback in us.
No, I mean, there was 10 minutes left, wasn't there? Time to get 2 scores, but like you say, it never felt like it was on with the way the team was put together at that point. Let's have a quick. What do you make of KR's season this year? Because you had a really good start. Then
it's the most full KR season ever. Good start, and then it's sort of in the middle where all the controversy come out around Takarangi. He was playing shit, and then everyone found out why. Good cup run ruined by Tony Smith spitting his dummy out. In my opinion, that's what sort of ruined it. You should have saved that till after the semi-final. Whether you're leaving or not, I just thought that was a very unprofessional way and sort of derailed it.
Yeah.
I think we went on a 6-game losing run there. Not even looking good in those games either.
And then it's just been super inconsistent since.
Yeah,
since you kind of got over that to an extent, but yeah, because you've been as high as was you 5th, maybe 4th early on in the running? Yeah. Oh well. So how we look? Someone was saying, Neil was saying, why your season's over. I think we're kind of saying, barring something hugely unexpected, Hull KR season's maybe over now.
Yeah, it's just going to fizzle out. I think everything's just going to sort of build towards that derby on the last day, for more or less for the fans, if anything. We'll be playing I'd say we're playing weekend teams. We're just playing who's fit for the next 3 or 4 weeks, whatever's left.
Yeah, and so is it? I suppose you'll look back on the season as being not a bad season, because you're not at the bottom. You've been fighting for the playoffs, fighting for cup success, and then looking optimistically to next season with the new coach coming in.
I don't really know much about the new coach, but he's got a good pedigree of where he's been and what he's done. I think with Maguire staying as well, that's probably bigger than any head coach appointment, because what he's done since Smith left has been pretty good.
So it gives you some sort of continuity as well as some new ideas coming in, doesn't it? Which is, I think, that's the way clubs want to have it, isn't it? They don't want to have a full, complete change of everything.
No, I think Stanley Jean and Dave Hodgson are staying as well, from what I've heard.
Wow, he does a good job running the water on, doesn't he, David Hodgson?
Oh, absolutely. Not very good at post-match interviews, though, if he ever has to do those.
One of the signings that your new coach announced without meaning to announce them has been confirmed, hasn't he? So Hull KR have brought Australian centre Tom Opicic,
I think.
Yeah, Opicic into Super League by signing on a 2-year deal from 2023. The 27-year-old will join from the Parramatta Eels. So that's a good signing, isn't it? That's
yeah. I've heard rumblings he should have maybe played an Origin game this year, so that's always nice to hear. Again, I don't know loads about him because I'm not a big NRL watcher, but it seems a solid defensive centre. It looks like a younger Sean Kenny Dowd from the highlight reels I've seen, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't know if he's quite got the same like wingspan offloady game.
Yeah.
To the same extent, but that's not because that's